Indeed, we conclude that is each time the textiles for healthcare is crossing other sectors like ICT and materials. It's very important. We'll pass for the second speaker from Portugal to speak about automotive and aeronautics. Dr. Raul Fangueiro from Portugal is currently professor and a senior research of School of Engineer at University of Minho. He is the head of the Fibres Materials Research Group of the same university, with expertise in advanced materials and structures, and with 40 research. He is the mentor and the coordinator of the Fibronamics international platform, including 300 partners developing promotion, dissemination, technology transfer, and research activities. He has more than 145 published papers in international reputed scientific journals, 400 conference publications, 36 books, and 14 patents. And he is the scientific coordinator of several national and international research projects on advanced fibers and composite materials. Please, Raul, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Paulo. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the organization for the invitation to be here today and to take part of this context project. And also to congratulate by the terrific job they are doing on organizing this group. So my presentation today is on textiles in automotive and aeronautics, and well, I'm leading this working group within the context program, along with my colleague and friend Dorian Dionesi. So to talk about the automotive and aeronautic application of textiles, we are talking about a larger topic, that is the mobility. So we are talking about transportation systems that can take us to one part to another. So this is the point, and this is a huge challenge for the future. And as we are talking about trends, of course, we need to understand what is going on in terms of societal challenges, so that then we can adjust a strategy so that we can meet these societal challenges using our materials that are textiles and fiber-based materials. And there are different topics I want to emphasize: the climatic changes, green transportation, low carbon economy, demographic rise, healthy aging, smart cities and urban mobility. Of course, there are many figures related to these topics. I don't have time to go to analyze in detail each of these figures, but for instance, in terms of green transportation, we know that 50% of the overall pollution comes from the transportation systems. So we have really an opportunity to try to decrease this account from the transportation system. So how can textiles fit or meet this topic? The number of electric vehicles is projected to increase from 3.1 million in 2017 to 125 million in 2030. So again, we have large opportunities for textiles to decrease weight, to increase the functionality, to increase the energy production. So there are many opportunities there. So based on this, what are the trends in mobility? So I believe multifunctionality. We are all looking for materials that can meet different requirements at the same time. And as we are working with these amazing flexible materials that are textiles, we can easily combine these materials with other materials and get easily multifunctionality. One important topic is weight reduction. So we want to reduce the weight of these structures, cars, airplanes, boats, and so on. And again, as we are working with materials with low density but with high mechanical properties, like carbon fiber, for instance. So I guess we have a word to say, and also this part of the weight reduction, this trend also. Again, the sustainability. Most of the materials we are using for this area of aeronautics and automotive, they are based much more on performance than on sustainable issues. So the next trend, of course, is to try to combine sustainability with performance. And again, we have something to say here as well. Performance as well, durability, circular economy to meet the requirements of the sustainability and the loop cycle production, competitiveness and flexibility. Just some of the figures in this in each of these topics. So weight reduction is a very important topic. We know that 10% reduction on weight correspond to 5 to 7% in combustible fuel safe. So we are reducing the weight, and the consumption of energy will decrease in the platforms we are using. So durability, we have a lot to see in terms of corrosion, fatigue and cyclic loading materials for this durability. Yesterday in our working group we've been talking about this part, and we feel this is a very important trend as well. So the mechanical performance, circular economy, decrease the production of waste, renewable energy and biodegradable materials. In terms of sustainability, transport systems accounts for about 36% of the overall energy consumption, 40% reduction of gas emissions till 2030. So what can we do using textiles to also to meet this requirement? Then in terms of multifunctionality, smart, interactive autonomy, and safety, connectivity. This was also other topic we've been discussing yesterday, and the idea of having the multifunctionality, but perhaps in two different areas. One, the interior of the transporting systems, which can be that can interact with the user, and at the same time that can have a better environment inside of the areas we are using in transportation. And for that, also textiles are quite important. Of course, when we are talking about this area, I guess most of the applications are based on the combination of textiles with other materials, and we are talking about composite materials, and textiles that are very important for that. And the composite materials in automotive industry will reach 11 billion in 2020, with 12% increase between 15 and 20. Polymeric matrix composites, metal and ceramic matrix composites. We have lots of opportunities here by combining textiles with other materials, and there are many opportunities in this area. And a very important topic nowadays is to use natural fibers as reinforcement in composite materials, trying to fit those requirements of performance and sustainability. So natural fibers are becoming again important materials and engineering materials for this type of applications. And also we expect a big increase again in the market of using this type of materials. So things like, this is something that is going on, that is already being applied. There are some examples there showing that this type of composites based on natural fibers are quite important nowadays. And of course, for structural applications, we are mainly nowadays talking about carbon fiber reinforced materials, and here the trend is also to increase the use of this type of materials. Textiles are there again because we need to create structures based on carbon fiber. We cannot, usually we are not using carbon fiber in single fibers, but in woven fabrics, in knitted fabrics, in non-woven fabrics. But there is an important issue, that is 30% of the carbon fibers we are using are waste in the overall production of this type of material. So there is an opportunity also, and there are many projects going on this area to reuse carbon fiber or to introduce waste of carbon fiber from this process again in the pipeline to produce new materials and solutions. So how can we as textiles designers, technicians and so on can meet these requirements? Well, I did in my research group we did an exercise in thinking how materials can meet these future trends, societal challenges and so on in different areas. Of course, mobility is there. As you can see, mobility is also here. And well, we think that based on fiber-based materials, that what a textile is a fiber-based material. And when we are combining these fiber-based materials with other matrices and transforming it in a composite materials, we have always to look for three multi-things: multifunctional, multi-scale. This is the idea of having in the same material, materials at the different scales from nano to macro scale. So all developments are now innovative developments are coming in this way, and multi-material. So nowadays in these areas of aeronautics and transportation and so on, we are looking for solutions based on the combination of different materials. And textiles can play a very important role in this combination with other materials. So multifunctional, multi-scale and multi-material, but looking at three important pillars: smart for adaptability, we've seen in the previous presentation as well; eco, because we need to meet the requirements of sustainability; and nano, in order to get performance with less material. So we can use less materials and to get higher performance. So I believe we have to cross this with this so that we can develop advanced solutions for this area. And of course, to have to bear always in mind two important pillars of the development: sustainability, circular economy, eco-design, biomimetics, waste, eco-materials, and so on, and the digitalization part that is related to the smartness of the material itself. So we can insert in the material the possibility to interact and to store energy, to act as a communicating systems and so on. So we have eco, nano, smart for these purposes here. Of course, in the eco, I will say that the trends are the use of this type of materials. Biopolymers, again, the combination of polymers with textiles. The use of nanocellulose, so sustainable material with high properties. The use, again, of natural fibers, and perhaps the most important of this, we are always look for high performance and develop very important materials, but we have a lot of weight to be reused, and we have to think how to reuse it in the process. I will pass this part, but in terms of nano, of course, the carbon-based materials are very important nowadays to improve performance. Carbon nanotubes, graphene, and not nanofibers, but nanofibers with high ratio area and volume, strongest material, and to get another properties. Just to let you know that on carbon-based materials, the carbon nanotubes is a technology that is already mature enough to be used, so we can explore it because we have already materials in the market with very interesting properties and reproducibility of properties, so we can develop products based on that. So we have solutions to go to the market based on this. On graphene, of course, there are many things that are going on. So just to end up, because 2 minutes? Oh, I still have 2? Okay. Okay, that's good. So I can add some more slides. Okay, thank you. So in terms of smart, of course, all these type of functionalities, self-healing, thermoregulating, chromotropic materials, piezoelectric materials, optoelectrics, phase change, shape memory, are important for textiles and for the use of this type of applications. But again, we need to combine materials with technologies. And what are the technologies that in the future will define the products we are going to develop? So I get this picture from the internet, but is saying what I think that will be important. One important thing is the additive manufacturing. Perhaps within 20 years, we are not going to talk about weaving or knitting, but just about additive manufacturing, I believe so. So that will be important for us as textile developers to think about how additive manufacture can use fibers and can use fibers combined with other materials to produce advanced products. This is one important topic. Nanotechnology, advanced materials, and the other two are more transversal. So I believe in terms of technologies, of course, additive manufacture will replace most of the technologies we are using to combine and to structure fibers into products. And there are many developments on that area, not only using textiles, but using also other type of materials, but textiles can be here as well. The nano fabrication, this will be very important to tailor the properties of the material from the molecular side to the macro scale of the material, and there are many techniques that can be used in this way, and of course everything related with the green technologies and biotechnologies. This will be the future, as we cannot live in the planet in this way, so we have to find solutions to develop, to combine performance with sustainability. So everything related to green technologies will be very important. And we can learn from the nature. This is the last thing. So we must use this topic of biomimetics as the approach to develop products, because we are inventing so many things, but nature has already invented those things millions of years ago. So we just have to look at nature and to try not just to get inspired, but to try to mimic what nature is doing, because nature is always combining performance and sustainability. So this is very, very important. So last slide, we are organizing this conference on natural fibers. This is the 4th edition of this conference. It will be held in Porto in July. So if you want to participate, the call for abstracts is still open until 15 February. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raul. Please, if you don't mind, join to us.